In the year 2030, imagine you are the supreme commander of a hostile superpower. You have the ships, the soldiers, and the political will. The United States has no military left. It has completely vanished. It sounds like a dream scenario for victory, but I will tell you the ending now. You still lose, and you lose badly. Not because of the US Army, but because the land itself will crush you. From the moment the first boots touch the shore, your invasion has already begun to fail. Before the first bullet is ever fired, the war has already begun inside the mind of someone else. The logistics officer, the man who does not carry a rifle, but carries the fate of the entire invasion. He looks at the map and sees no enemy, only distance, fuel, water, and time. Every number is a question with no good answer. How do you feed hundreds of thousands of troops every day? How do you move fuel, ammunition, and medicine across an ocean? Generals talk about victory, but he lies awake at night thinking about trucks, cargo ships, and supply depots. This is the greatest psychological trap of modern warfare. You think you are fighting a country, but in reality, you are trying to defeat math, physics, and the brutal truth of logistics. And history shows that anyone who underestimates logistics has already lost.
Before you ever reach the United States, you have to cross two massive walls that need no guards. The Atlantic Ocean to the east, the Pacific to the west. Not water, but distance. From Europe to the east coast is thousands of kilometers of empty ocean. From Asia to California is even farther. Every kilometer burned is fuel lost, time slipping away, and morale slowly eroding. A soldier sits cramped inside a ship for weeks, seasick, muscles weakening, mind dulled long before he ever sees land. A logistics officer watches the clock and knows that every delayed day means millions of dollars gone. In World War II, to cross a narrow channel, the world spent years preparing. Here, you are dragging an army across an ocean that feels endless. There is no surprise, no shortcut. Before the first shot is fired, the oceans have already worn down your will, your money, and your time. These two liquid walls never shoot back, yet they are more than enough to exhaust an invader before the war even begins.
When your ships finally see the American coastline, you think the hardest part is over. That is the most dangerous illusion of all. The coast is not the door. The ports are the choke points. Tanks, fuel, food, everything has to pass through just a few narrow gateways. Destroy one crane, sink one ship in the harbor entrance, and the entire operation starts to suffocate. A shipping executive stares at a paralyzed port on his screen and realizes that every hour of waiting means millions of dollars evaporating offshore. Soldiers sit on their ships, land visible right in front of them, yet unable to step onto it. The city is clear in sight, but the war is trapped between water and concrete. This is the moment you understand that America does not need to stop you at sea. By blocking just a few gates, it can leave the most advanced army in the world frozen, exhausted, and helpless.
Canada and Mexico may sound like clever alternatives, but in reality, they are perfect traps. In the north, you enter Canada and face endless forests, swamps, exposed rock, frozen lakes, and brutal winters. Roads are scarce, distances are vast, and supply convoys stretch out like snakes waiting to be cut apart. A truck driver watches the temperature drop below zero, his hands going numb long before he reaches a single city. In the south, you choose Mexico and meet scorching deserts, a lack of water, a lack of shade, a lack of everything needed to sustain a large army. Trucks overheat, soldiers collapse simply trying to survive. And even if you cross the border, you are still in Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico, where the distance between cities is large enough to kill logistics on its own. There is no shortcut through these neighbors, only terrain, weather, and distance quietly grinding your army down day by day.
Even if you achieve the impossible and push deep into the American mainland, the real game only begins then. Ahead of you stand two massive walls of stone, the Rockies in the west and the Appalachians in the east. These are not scenic mountains, they are killing corridors. Movement is forced into a handful of narrow passes, bridges, and tunnels. A sergeant studies the map and knows that one small explosion could turn the entire convoy into a giant parking lot wedged between cliffs. Tanks slide on ice, supply trucks bog down in snow or mud. Communications break apart inside deep valleys. From the high ground, locals who know every trail, every ridge, every deadly curve watch your progress. You are no longer advancing, you are just trying to survive mile by mile. In this terrain, geography does not need an army. The mountains themselves become the weapon, slow, cold, and never tired. And then you realize the most frightening threat is not on the map, but standing quietly behind closed doors. This is not a war where you take the capital and everything collapses. In the United States, every town is its own world, every neighborhood a silent fortress. People do not need uniforms to become resistance. They know every shortcut, every bend in the road, every bridge that can disappear overnight. Combat veterans live next to ordinary families, carrying the memory of war and the skills of survival. By day, the town feels calm. By night, your supply convoys vanish into the dark. You can occupy a square, but you cannot occupy the ground beneath it, the homes around it, or the local will. There is no center to cut off, no snakehead to sever. Resistance is decentralized, patient, and relentless. You may raise a flag on a building, but every morning you wake up to a place that feels more hostile than the day before. This is the moment you understand the real enemy is not an army, but a society that is used to self-rule and refuses to be governed. You can endure the oceans, the forests, the mountains, and the quiet resistance, but eventually everything collapses for one simple reason. Logistics inside the United States is a black hole. The distances between cities stretch hundreds of kilometers. Bridges, rail lines, and highway junctions become matters of life and death. Drop a few key bridges, close a tunnel, and entire supply routes are instantly severed. A fuel convoy stops in the middle of empty farmland, a broken bridge ahead, a blocked road behind. Silence all around. The driver watches the fuel gauge sink and realizes there is no backup plan. When trucks stop moving, ammunition does not arrive, food does not arrive, the wounded are not evacuated. Every mile you push deeper inland is a mile you grow weaker, while the defenders grow stronger because they are fighting at home. This is no longer a war of firepower, but a war against distance, fuel, and time. And in that war, the invader is always the one who runs out first. Let us assume you are the rare invader who makes it through everything. Your ships reach shore. Your convoys are still moving. The arrows on the map keep pointing forward. You think you're winning. But at that exact moment, you swallow a poison pill of your own making. The United States is not just a country, it is a central axis of the global economy. When America is shaken, currencies, supply chains, data, and markets around the world shake with it. Banks back home stare at screens glowing red as value evaporates in hours. The ports you depend on for resupply freeze as global trade seizes up. Servers, data centers, and financial systems the world relies on begin to fail. You are not just attacking territory, you are dismantling the system that feeds your own economy. With every mile you advance, your country behind you grows poorer, weaker and more unstable. This is the final paradox. Victory on the map becomes defeat in real life.
So the truth is simple and brutally cold. Invading the United States is not a military campaign. It is a slow form of suicide. The land, the people, and the system themselves automatically crush any invader. Now it is your turn. If you had to choose, which state would be the worst nightmare for an invading force and why? Leave your answer in the comments.